In today's discussion, we're diving into the intriguing story of one of the Bible's most enigmatic characters. His fleeting mentions across the scriptures and his appearances from ages long before the time of Christ to many years after shroud his existence in mystery. Could he have outlived Methuselah? We're about to explore everything the Bible reveals about this figure, Melchizedek. I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll see things differently. Don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and let's delve into the details. Melchizedek, meaning King of Righteousness, or My King is Righteous, holds a distinctive and somewhat elusive role in the biblical texts, challenging traditional religious and secular leadership roles. His unique position and the rarity of his mentions make Melchizedek a fascinating subject, crucial for a deeper understanding of faith. The scriptural narrative treats references to Melchizedek as rare and valuable insights, each offering a glimpse into his mystifying persona. His initial appearance is set in a bygone era, nearly 2,000 years before the birth of Christ, during a significant encounter with Abraham amidst conflict and triumph. Following a fierce battle against a coalition of kings near the Dead Sea, Abraham, the forefather of the Hebrews, returns triumphantly with his men from a bold rescue mission to Dan in the far north. In the oak-laden lands of Mamre, a sole survivor of the brutal enemy attacks who managed to escape comes searching for Abraham, bearing news of critical importance. Under the whispering oaks, amidst the disturbed peace, Abraham listens as the messenger delivers the dire news with urgency: the capture of his nephew Lot, taken prisoner with his belongings and family during the hostilities. The announcement stirs a deep, unstoppable rage in Abraham, igniting a fierce resolve to act swiftly. Rallying his troops, Abraham embarks on a daring rescue mission that pushes the boundaries of known territories and overcomes any trace of fear or doubt. He gathers 318 of his trained men, all raised within his household, and heads north with urgency, driven by the slim hope of finding his nephew alive. As night descends, they near Ra, north of Damascus. Under a blanket of stars, they execute a stealthy assault, catching their adversaries off guard on their own ground. The clash of swords pierces the night's stillness, with battle cries resonating across the hills as Abraham and his men display unmatched bravery and resolve. They achieve victory under the cloak of darkness, their fierce determination and prowess silencing the tumult of the fray. The foes are vanquished, the captives freed, and amid the aftermath of conflict, an extraordinary and momentous meeting is set to occur. In the quiet aftermath, Abraham encounters a figure enveloped in an air of commanding peace and authority. This is Melchizedek, the royal priest of Salem, who steps forward from the nocturnal shadows, his gaze imbued with an otherworldly luminance. Melchizedek enters the scriptural narrative abruptly, with no trace of lineage or definitive background. He stands before Abraham as the sovereign of Salem and a priest of the Most High God. The scriptures leave his lineage and ascent to power unexplained, cloaking his presence in mystery. His sudden appearance and undefined origins contribute to his enigmatic status, presenting a puzzle that eludes full comprehension. The narrative centers primarily on his encounter with Abraham following a battle where Abraham had just rescued his nephew Lot. Melchizedek stands out as a mysterious and singular character who fulfills both kingly and priestly roles, positioning him as a key figure for interpreting several themes and ideas within the biblical story. Melchizedek approaches Abraham with confident strides, his commanding aura piercing the post-battle calm. In his hands he carries bread and wine, symbols of nourishment and fellowship, conveying meanings that words cannot capture and touching the very essence of the soul. Abraham, struck by the gravity of this moment, bows in deep respect and veneration before Melchizedek, recognizing the magnitude of the figure before him. Accepting the bread and wine from Melchizedek, Abraham partakes in an act of spiritual communion and blessing. Then Melchizedek lifts his hands skyward, blessing Abraham with phrases that resonate with timeless and celestial power. He celebrates the divine favor on Abraham, chosen by the Most High for a destiny beyond ordinary comprehension. May Abram be blessed by God Most High, the maker of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has handed your foes over to you. Genesis 14:19-20. Amid this solemn communion and blessing, Abraham feels a profound sense of gratitude and veneration stir within him. In a show of acknowledgement and homage, he presents Melchizedek with a tenth of all the spoils he had collected from the battle, acknowledging the spiritual leadership and divine favor embodied by Melchizedek. This tithe from Abraham to Melchizedek transcends mere material generosity. It signifies a deep recognition of Melchizedek's spiritual dominion and the divine sanction he carries. This act serves as a manifestation of Abraham's deep faith and his commitment to the divine scheme that was unfolding. Melchizedek's role in this episode challenges conventional biblical norms. He emerges as an extraordinary figure who melds the roles of both king and priest, a combination typically distinct in religious and political systems of the time. In contrast to later Hebrew tradition, where kings were prohibited from performing priestly duties and vice versa, Melchizedek acts independently as a priest of the Most High God, unconnected to Israel's lineage or the later covenant with Abraham. This distinction accentuates his distinctiveness and underscores his theological significance. Melchizedek's presence before the Abrahamic covenant implies that his duties were not confined to the laws and customs of the Hebrews, but were meant for a broader audience, serving as a divine intermediary to all of humanity. This positions him as a universal and eternal figure whose priesthood goes beyond ethnic and cultural confines. Furthermore, Melchizedek's blessing of Abraham underscores his role as a spiritual authority, recognizing Abraham as a chosen instrument of God and imparting a significant blessing following his military success. This encounter between Melchizedek and Abraham emphasizes the priestly function as a bridge between humanity and the divine, predating the formal establishment of the Levitical priesthood. Additionally, a subsequent mention that might relate to Melchizedek appears around a millennium before the time of Christ, further deepening the mystery surrounding him. Psalm 110, among the most referenced and analyzed in the Old Testament, portrays a vivid and poetic vision of the reign and priesthood of Christ. In this psalm, David relays a vision where God invites another sovereign figure, also referred to as Lord, to sit at his right hand, a place denoting supreme authority and dominion, emphasizing the Messiah's elevated and sovereign status over all. While Melchizedek is not explicitly named in this psalm, many theologians see the verses as a nod to the dual role of Melchizedek as both king and priest. In this light, Melchizedek is seen as a forerunner to the Messiah, whose priesthood and rule are not bound by earthly or temporal constraints. Just as Melchizedek once blessed Abraham and accepted his tithe, so too is Christ exalted to the right hand of the Father, serving as the high priest and eternal ruler, mediating for believers and governing over all of creation. This link made between Melchizedek and the figure invited to sit at God's right hand in Psalm 110 underscores the significant theological role of Melchizedek as a precursor to Christ, prefiguring the redemptive and exalted duties of Jesus. The parallels drawn between Melchizedek and Jesus, particularly in their roles as eternal high priests, are among the most captivating and profound within biblical scholarship, prompting extensive study of Melchizedek as a symbolic representation of Jesus Christ. This interpretation not only underlines Melchizedek's distinction as a cryptic figure in the Old Testament, but also accentuates his prophetic significance in grasping the redemptive role of Jesus. A particular theory posits that Melchizedek may be linked to other biblical figures like Noah, Seth, or even angels, due to the lack of information about his lineage and origins. Melchizedek's enigmatic emergence in the scriptures, with neither a documented beginning nor end, hints at a symbolic representation of eternity akin to that attributed to Jesus Christ. This portrayal strengthens the notion of Melchizedek as a foretoken of the Messiah, whose essence and origin are beyond human constraints. Moreover, exploring the parallels between Melchizedek and Jesus as the eternal high priest underscores the similarity in their priestly duties. Just as Melchizedek blessed Abraham and received tithes, Jesus extends blessings to his followers, providing salvation and ceaselessly interceding for them before God. Melchizedek's absence of a genealogical trail and his sporadic appearances throughout the Bible suggest an everlasting existence, mirroring the timeless and unending priesthood of Jesus Christ, which surpasses temporal bounds and provides a perpetual mediation between God and mankind. By viewing Melchizedek as a typology of Jesus Christ, believers are invited to delve deeper into the magnitude of Christ's salvific work, which transcends temporal and spatial limitations to deliver forgiveness and everlasting life to all adherents. The third reference appears during the latter half of the century, following the birth of Jesus, when the writer of the Epistle to the Hebrews revisits the significance of Melchizedek, emphasizing his crucial role in understanding the priesthood of Christ. In this epistle, Melchizedek is depicted as an exceptional figure without genealogy, lacking a beginning or an end to his life, thus foreshadowing Christ as the everlasting high priest. Chapters 5 through 7 of the Epistle to the Hebrews delve into Melchizedek's priesthood and its profound theological implications. The author sets the priesthood of Melchizedek, which predates the Levitical order, against the Levitical priesthood that traces its origins to Levi's lineage. The Levitical priesthood denotes the priestly order founded in the ancient Jewish religion, primarily involving the tribe of Levi, and specifically the descendants of Aaron, Moses' brother. As per Jewish tradition, this priesthood was established by God during the Exodus and is primarily documented in the books of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. The Levitical priests were tasked with conducting rituals and sacrifices in the tabernacle and later in the Temple of Jerusalem, serving as intermediaries between God and the Israelites. In the Epistle to the Hebrews, this comparison underscores the eternal and superior nature of the priesthood of Jesus Christ, who is declared the high priest in the order of Melchizedek. The writer of Hebrews presents several reasons why Melchizedek's priesthood surpasses the Levitical priesthood. Firstly, Melchizedek's act of blessing Abraham, the forefather of the Hebrew nation, signifies his spiritual supremacy and historical precedence over Levi, from whom the Levitical priests are descended. Additionally, the fact that Abraham paid tithes to Melchizedek further underscores Melchizedek's superior spiritual authority and precedence over the patriarch of the Hebrew people. The author also points out the enduring and permanent nature of Melchizedek's priesthood, unlike the Levitical priesthood, which was temporary and interrupted by death and the necessity for genealogical succession. The text further underscores that Jesus Christ, as the high priest in the order of Melchizedek, holds a position of superiority over the Levitical priests due to his eternal and indestructible nature, which transcends death and eliminates the need for a succession of priests. This theological discourse illuminates the significance of Melchizedek's priesthood as a precursor and symbol of the everlasting priesthood of Jesus Christ. By linking Jesus with Melchizedek's priesthood, the author of Hebrews emphasizes the unmatched and flawless nature of Christ's priesthood in comparison to the Levitical order. Thus, Melchizedek's priesthood in the Epistle to the Hebrews lays a crucial groundwork for comprehending the redemptive and mediating role of Jesus Christ, providing eternal salvation and direct access to God for all who believe. The theological role of Melchizedek within this framework challenges traditional biblical norms, portraying him as a unique figure who unites the roles of king and priest, roles typically distinct in religious and political contexts of the era. Unlike later Hebrew culture, where God expressly forbade kings of Israel from performing priestly duties and vice versa, Melchizedek stands out as the priest of the Most High God, unaffiliated with the Israelites or the subsequent covenant with Abraham. This juxtaposition of Melchizedek with the conventional order accentuates his distinctiveness and amplifies his theological significance. His presence before the Abrahamic covenant indicates that he was not constrained by the particular laws and traditions of the Hebrews, representing instead the Most High God to all humanity. Thus, Melchizedek emerges as a universal and eternal symbol, with a priesthood that surpasses ethnic and cultural divisions. Moreover, Melchizedek is depicted as blessing Abraham, acknowledging him as God's chosen agent and bestowing upon him a significant blessing following his military triumph. This encounter underscores Melchizedek's spiritual authority and his role as a mediator between God and humans, predating the establishment of the Levitical priesthood. Exploring the profound implications of the new covenant, rooted in the priesthood of Melchizedek, deepens our understanding of God's interaction with humanity. By contrasting the temporal and ritual-bound Levitical priesthood with the eternal, boundary-transcending priesthood of Melchizedek, we gain insight into the enduring and universal nature of God's plan for redemption. Understanding the priesthood of Melchizedek deepens our appreciation of the spiritual truths manifest in Christ. In the same way that Melchizedek blessed Abraham and received his tithe, Jesus, as our eternal high priest, bestows blessings upon us and calls us to dedicate our lives as living sacrifices. This calls us to a life of perpetual gratitude and commitment, acknowledging Christ's paramount role in all aspects of our existence. Let the story of Melchizedek motivate us. I hope you found this video enlightening. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and click on one of the videos that pop up next to keep watching. Take care, and God bless.